This is Creepy and Geeky. Welcome to Creepy and Geeky. I'm your host, Robert, and on today's Minisode, it's time to talk to Donna about the stuff we got into this last week. How's it going, Donna?
Hey, Robert. It is going swimmingly. We are almost at the end of the year, and I am surviving.
I know. I'm not thriving anymore. I'm just surviving.
I'm just surviving, dude.
Right? I think we're all just surviving here at the
I
end of the year. We're just
know.
trying to get through it. Oh, that's too funny. Yes. No. I agree. It's this is our last mini-sode of the year and probably the last mini-sode for a while. I mean, Donna will still be coming back every episode for the beginning of every episode, like
Of
she
course.
has been for a while. But this is the last mini-sode because next week's episode is my annual holiday episode with the kids.
Yay.
And as I teased on Blue Sky today, recording day, which is Sunday, I teased out that Gremlins and Gremlins 2 is our movies for this year.
I love
So
those movies so much.
it has been a very long time since I have seen Gremlins 2. I watched Gremlins a few years ago, but I
Mhm.
haven't watched them in quite a while. So this is gonna be fun. And I don't think either one of my kids has ever seen Gremlins.
Get
So this,
out.
yeah, I know I'm a bad parent because
No.
Gremlins. No, it's just funny, like because I always like think of that too, and I'm like, how did I not show my kids Gremlins? It's like such a weird thing too because I loved Gremlins when it came out.
Yeah.
I remember getting the storybooks with the records in them and everything, um, when they came out at the time, and yeah, no. So it'll be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun talking to them about those movies because we're finally getting into some good movies because we've been talking about a lot of junk for the last few years with the Silent Night, Deadly Night movies. So we're going to be talking some fun holiday horror this year.
I
So
still have my original Gizmo. I can never get rid of Gizmo.
nice. That's
He's
very
just
cool.
adorable. And it's weird that you said that that's what y'all were talking about. My local theater, like around the corner from me, they played Gremlins yesterday, and I think they're playing it again on the 17th. So I'm going to try to go just because I haven't seen it in the big screen since I was a kid.
Yeah, yeah. It's been quite a while. I wouldn't definitely not like I saw Gremlins 2 might have been from the last time I saw when I was a kid.
Mhm.
But Gremlins 1, um, I definitely saw a few years ago because I bought the triple Blu-ray pack of Goonies and the two Gremlins, and I watched the first Gremlins, but I never watched the second Gremlins. But changing that this week. So
No, I can't wait to hear it because I know
yeah.
that they're going to have a lot to say
Oh
about
yeah.
those movies.
Yeah. No, they're definitely going to be a lot of fun. So but yeah, so that's what's going on next week. Of course, Donna will be back for the beginning of that episode, as always. But until then, we're going to talk about what happened this week. I didn't have any new movies I watched this week. I did watch a couple of short films by A&P Films, Angela and Paul.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they put out a they put out La Soldadera, which is a short film of theirs from a few years ago. They put that out on their Patreon. Um, so I got to watch that. It's very seems very influenced by True Romance, which is great because I've been kind of rewatching that a little bit
Mhm.
this last week, and enjoying that. True Romance is one of my favorite movies. And so it's got definitely some inspiration from that. So that was an interesting movie to check out. And then they also had a short film called Nighttime Creatures, which is on their YouTube channel. And it's a just a small short film, but it's a definitely interesting.
I really love the progression of them. Their movies and their
Yeah.
films. I cannot wait for OnlyFans.
Oh my
I'm just
God.
telling
I
you.
like everything I see about that. Just it feels like a big step up even from Murder Size.
Hmm.
And Murder Size was great, but like OnlyFans, just every little bit of it I see just looks like it's like on another level now.
Yeah.
So I'm hopeful. It looks really cool. I'm very much on board with everything they do now. So, but that's those are the only things I got to really watch this week. I've been, it's been like we talked about this off air, but it's just been kind of blah. I haven't been very
Hmm.
social online or anything else. I've been kind of tired. And just kind of blah in general. I
I
think it's
think it's
just,
just the time of the
yeah,
year
yeah.
too.
It's just the seasonal affective disorder sort of like I don't
Yeah.
really get the that itself, but I think most people just kind of like wind down at this time of year. Um,
I
but
think we're just
yeah,
trying to get across the finish line of the year. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
right. Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, I do have a couple of trailers. One I know we talked about briefly about making sure we talked about on this episode. Um,
Right.
so we'll talk about that, and then there's another trailer I saw, and then I want to talk about a new Humble Bundle that came out. But why don't you go ahead and give me what you got first?
So I'll hold off on the trailer that I know we're going to talk about. But
Okay,
one thing I wanted to bring up was that McKenna Grace has actually been announced that she's going to be in the cast of Scream 7.
I saw that. Yeah.
So I'm excited. I have followed her since she was a kid, and I
Yeah.
heard the sigh.
Yeah. I like here. I don't want to support Spyglass. Like that's my
I don't
thing.
want to
Is
support
just
it
that
either.
like that's my thing is this like but I McKenna Grace being in it is good. I like that they cast her. Um and I like some of the things I've heard about it. If it weren't being done by Spyglass and if
Hmm.
it weren't the way they handled everything, I think I'd be more excited about it all. But yeah, I mean, it definitely feels like a positive thing, but at the same time,
Hmm.
it's just like in such a negative
It's
zone.
kind of,
Like
yeah.
it's like finally they brought in oh man, what's his name? The writer,
Kevin Williamson.
Kevin Williamson to direct. Finally, he's directing this one. And so I was like, that would be very exciting if it weren't for that came out after the
Right.
fact that Melissa Barrera was let go and everything, and so it's just yeah. So I have very mixed feelings about this movie in general.
I
Like
mean,
I
that's
want to see it,
fine.
but like at the
Yeah,
same
I
time,
want to
I
see
don't
it.
want to support it.
I can't support it, but I know I'm gonna watch it if it,
Yeah,
comes on cable or streaming
yeah,
somewhere.
yeah, absolutely.
But I'm not gonna go see it.
Yeah,
However, I do love McKenna Grace. I mean,
me too. Yeah, she's
she's
so
just
good in
kind
the
of,
Ghostbusters movies.
yeah, and she's evolved in such a great actress. And a long time ago, I saw her as a tiny, tiny little child actor in a movie called Gifted, I think it was, with Chris
Mm,
Evans, and it's such a cute movie. Um, and I thought, "Oh my gosh, she's amazing." And just to see her progression has me hopeful. I hope she goes on to do more and bigger things. So
yeah, no,
that was my
absolutely.
only thing to
Yeah.
start out with, not to bring you down.
No, no, no. No, I like that's the thing. Like I wanna support Scream is one of my favorite franchises,
Yeah.
and so I want to see it, but I don't want to support it, so it's like it's definitely very much on the fence about it. I think most people are too, because they're frustrated with how it's being handled overall and frustrated with some of the actors who are involved who are just not like calling it out because they want the money. So, and I get it, but at the same time it's just frustrating. So, but yeah, no, I did see that and I was like, okay, that's cool. Like I'm glad she's getting more, some good work and everything like that. So she's also a singer and she's got some good songs too. So um but yeah, so my first thing is I want to talk about a Humble Bundle. There is the third Hellboy universe Humble Bundle that just came out this last week, and it includes, if you want to, you can buy just the new stuff if you've already bought the previous two bundles. But if you haven't, you can buy all of the bundles, and it's actually much cheaper than. So like each bundle as they come out is like $18. So that's what 36, $54 if you bought them all when they came out, which is what I did because I never know if those bundles are going to come back around or not. Sometimes
Right.
they do, sometimes they don't. So you could have bought them for $54 like I did, or if you waited until now, you can buy all of them for $38. So it's a lot cheaper. It's like 16 bucks cheaper now.
Yeah. That's an
To
incredible deal.
No, it's a great deal, and it's like over 100 comic books, and over 100 collections of comic books. It's not just individual issues. It's like it's equal to like probably close to 500-600 comics. So it's definitely a huge deal. You get all the Hellboy, all the BPRD. The new bundle has all of the Abe Sapien volumes and all of the Hellboy and the BPRD comics, which is like a separate run of comics detailing a bunch of Hellboy's um, cases uh, in the past. So it's got like they had Hellboy in the BPRD 1952, 53, 54. So these are all separate collections that go up to 1957. So, and then there's like three other collections. And then it also had the Lobster Johnson collections as well. So it's definitely a lot of good stuff in there. It's a great value. I suspect that there might be a fourth bundle coming. I thought a third one would be all that they would do, but
Hmm.
they didn't include any of the Witchfinder collections in this one. And so I suspect that it's possible they might do another bundle with those and the rest of the stuff they haven't put out yet. That's just a guess though. So I mean, I wouldn't put it past them not to. But this is the currently 2024 is the 30th anniversary of Hellboy being released. 1994 was the when the first miniseries came out. So, but yeah, Hellboy comes with my highest recommendation. It's a hugely fun series. All of the surrounding materials really good. It's a whole universe of stuff, and it all interconnects, and it's all really great and fun. So it's really good stuff to get. And if you haven't gotten it, get it soon. So,
Yeah, that sounds incredible, and
yeah.
I love when you tell us about the Humble Bundle stuff because then I end up going there and looking at all of the good
Yes.
stuff.
Oh yeah. No, they tend to have some really good stuff. I was excited because I was kind of bummed they didn't have anything like um I haven't had anything good comic book wise in a little bit. And so I was just like, oh man, they really need to put something out at the end of the year. I'm really hoping they do, and they put out one of the best ones they could. So I'm happy about that. So all right, what else do you have?
Oh, let's see. So there's news now that Austin Butler is going to be playing
Mm,
Patrick Bateman in the new, I guess, adaptation of American Psycho, which I don't really want to see a new one, but
right.
I'll fuck with it because of Austin Butler. I mean, I really do love that actor, so I'll definitely check it out.
That's funny. Yeah, I saw that the other day. Somebody mentioned that, and they were kind of disappointed in it. Just because people don't care for remakes and such. And I get it. It's whatever. But I mean that the original movie came out in 2000. It's by the time this one comes out, it's gonna be 25 years ago.
Hmm.
It doesn't feel like it should be that long ago, but it does. And it's not that bad of a distance to make a remake and uh, find something else. Try something else with it. If it's good, it's good, and it'll never replace the original. That's what I always say. Like sometimes remakes do replace originals in some ways, but most of the time they don't ever replace the original.
Right.
So and so it should be a lot of fun. So all right, my next thing is a trailer for a new movie starring Jack Quaid called Novocaine. And this is a like an action, um, like like a crazy action movie. He's a guy who feels no pain, and he falls in love with this girl, and she gets taken during a bank robbery as a
Hmm.
hostage, and he goes chasing after her, and uh, fights all the bad guys, and meanwhile he's getting hurt and not feeling anything. So,
The
um,
trailer for this looks so
oh,
wild,
it's
and it
so
just
fun.
in that same vein of Nobody and,
Yes.
all of these kind
I
of
was actually
action.
surprised. I thought it was going to be a movie that was produced by David Leitch, like Nobody and Violent Night.
Mhm.
It's not. It's not produced by his company at all. And I was actually really surprised because it feels like a movie in his wheelhouse.
It really
So,
does,
yeah.
yeah, and it's
So,
funny because, it's Jack Quaid, and he's so,
yes.
like, just bookish and, like,
Yeah.
so soft looking. Yeah,
Right.
it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, no. So it looks like a lot of fun. That and that other movie he's in with Sophie Thatcher, a companion. That looks wild. So he's definitely making a name for himself, which is really good. So I think it's really cool. I need to always reminds me I got to rewatch the latest season of The Boys too, which I haven't watched yet.
I
So
haven't watched that either. I need to get on that.
I know I'm so far behind on TV shows. It's ridiculous.
It's too much TV, everything is so
It is.
good.
I
I
know.
can't
I
keep up.
know. It's crazy right now. It's like so many good things. Did you watch Skeleton Crew yet?
I have not.
Oh my gosh, Donna, get on that.
Yes, sir, aye, aye,
That is
Captain.
that is a show that I am watching every week, and so yeah, I've enjoyed that. I did catch the first two episodes of Creature Commandos also on Max.
I
Um,
haven't watched it yet, don't say anything.
no, 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 I'm not gonna say anything. But yeah, no, but it's okay. I you know definitely watch it. I'm gonna watch the rest of it, see how it goes. So far it's just okay. So it's not bad, it's not great, but it's it's good. It's fairly good down the middle. So all right. Well, I think the only last thing I have, and I don't know if it's the only thing you have left, but it's the one trailer with it we were both going to talk about.
Well, no, hold that. Let me
Okay,
talk about my thing and then
sure.
because
Yeah,
that'll be
no,
the
no, no.
last one.
I didn't know if you had anything else, so go ahead.
Yeah, so there is a teaser trailer, and it's definitely a teaser trailer for Return of the Living Dead that's coming out
Oh,
next year.
okay.
Have you
I
not
had
seen it?
no, I
And
didn't
when
know
I say
anything
it's a
about it.
teaser, it's just a teaser. It's not even a trailer. It's just a
Yeah,
teaser. But it's going to be a Christmas movie, apparently.
interesting.
Um, and the teaser is just like all of maybe 35 seconds, and we see Tarman, kind of a silhouette, dragging something through the snow, and it looks like a Christmas tree, but it's probably a couple of bodies, and they're wrapped in Christmas lights. And it really does look creepy. I'm very
Wow.
excited for this. And
Okay.
so this is just gonna drop, I think next year it'll be the 40th anniversary of Return of the Living Dead. So that
Okay.
might be one you might want to talk about.
Yeah, yeah.
If you
No.
haven't, I don't think you have.
Return of the Living Dead. No, I haven't talked about that on the show. So
Ooh.
yeah, yeah. No, definitely. All right. Yeah, definitely have to check that out. All right. Well, all I have left is do you have anything else left before we talk about this?
Nope.
Okay.
I was gonna save the best for last.
So, the trailer for 28 years later dropped this week. And so here's the thing. I don't think I've seen either one of the original movies since they came out. So I not super familiar with the world, at least the world as it was by the end of 28 weeks later.
Hmm.
So, but this looks interesting. It doesn't tell you a whole lot. Just shows you the world as it is now, 28 years later, and it's interesting too because you would assume that in any post-apocalyptic kind of movie like this, especially involving zombies
Hmm.
and stuff like that, that once the world has kind of at that stage 28 years later, that there'd be some kind of movement forward. That society would have started to rebuild and everything, and it very much does not seem like that's happened
No.
at all. Like it's just gotten worse, or at least stayed the same. So, yeah, it's a little rough. So, but yeah, no, it looks very interesting. Aaron Taylor Johnson's in it. He seems like
Hmm.
he's the main character. Ray Fiennes, Jodie
Yep.
Comer is in it. Um, and we get a little tease of a return of Killian Murphy. Um,
Which is kind of weird
it
because
was very weird.
everybody kind of assumed, and from what I'm hearing is the the image that we see of what may be a zombified Cillian Murphy is actually not Cillian Murphy. So just if you see the trailer and you go, "Oh my God, that's not him."
Interesting. Interesting. It
Just
looks very much like
it
him.
does,
I
and
think
they
it's
know what
supposed
they
I think
did.
yeah, it's meant to be a tease. Like it's meant to
Yeah,
throw you off and go, "Hey, does that mean he's dead in this? Oh no."
I
Um
really think whoever edited this trailer and put it together deserves a lot of awards because
oh
it's
yeah.
not a lot. It doesn't give you all of the info. It
No, it
makes
doesn't
you
give you
really
barely any info.
yeah, and it makes you very nervous and excited to see what's gonna happen, and then you keep hearing that poem, the Boots poem
Well,
throughout the whole thing.
yeah, and apparently that is something that's actually that specific thing is actually used in like psychological
Yeah,
warfare.
to see how
So,
long it takes them before they crack, so
yeah.
the fact that they use that, the fact that they use the Morse code to let you know that the teaser trailer was coming,
Yeah.
the fact that this is now allegedly gonna be either I think a trilogy at this point, and I'm like, "What?" You know, these little things are coming out that about these movies. The second part of this is supposed to be directed by Nia DaCosta, and I'm
Oh, I did not know
totally
that.
over the moon about
Yay.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, the fact that he shot this on an iPhone, it's all of these things, it makes me feel like the very first time 28 Days Later came
Yeah.
out, just because, you got Boyle, you got Garland. This is gonna be off the chain. I'm not missing this at all.
Yeah, no, it looks very interesting. I'm definitely gonna have to refamiliarize myself with the first two movies and before this one comes out so I can check it out.
Yeah, and it's so funny too because 28 weeks later, you could find 28 days, you couldn't find streaming anywhere. Apparently, with some kind of rights that they had.
Yeah.
So I think they are, with the kind of fever over this trailer, they're probably going to hurry up and get this out
Oh
so
yeah,
people can
I
watch
hope
it.
so. Yeah, I would hope so. I would hope that they can get it going here pretty soon.
Yeah, I
So
don't even have a Blu-ray of this. I think I bought like a bootleg off of eBay back in the day. I mean, I'm not kidding. I wanted to
that's
see this
funny.
movie so bad. Nobody, it wasn't really playing here. So it's like, oh gosh, how
Yeah.
can I see this movie? So yeah, I just bought like a trailer from somebody off of eBay that worked at the movie studio, and I will find a way to watch a movie, y'all. If y'all don't
Yeah.
understand, I will find a way.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. Yeah, like there's no version available on Amazon. Is it not available like through
No,
like even through Voodoo, I wonder?
no, I don't believe so. I'm sure it's gonna be coming to digital soon because people are
Oh,
so
that's funny.
hyped and
28
they wanna
weeks
see it.
later is available for
28 weeks you can find, 28 you
yeah.
cannot.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So when I say collect physical media, this is why I say collect physical media, because when
No,
you think
yeah.
that, I didn't think I had to snatch it up at the time it was out on DVD when it was out because, I
Yeah.
was thinking about that.
Yeah, no, that is not. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, they need to do something about that because, yeah, it's a little messed up. All right. Well, that's all I had for new stuff this week. I I want to talk about the future of the podcast in a good way. Don't worry, everybody. I'm not stopping or anything. And if you wanted
Don't
me to
scare the
stop tough
people.
shit, I'm gonna keep going. Um, um, No, but before we jump into that, why don't you let people know what you've got going on your podcast this week?
Oh, okay. So I'm still doing the Happy Horror Days kind of theme, and I wanted to talk about one that's new to me, probably not new to anybody else, but there's a 2022 film directed by Joe Vegas titled Christmas, Bloody Christmas. And I recently watched it. I'd not heard of this movie. One of my friends on Instagram said, "You should watch that. This is right up your alley." And they were 100% right. So basically, we have a Robo Santa that was originally a part of the US defense system,
Yeah,
kind of goes berserk on Christmas Eve, and a lot of weird and wild stuff happens in this film.
yeah. No, we covered that last year on our Christmas episode. That was
Yeah.
um, one of the new ones that we did
Yeah, it's
for that
it's
one.
funny. He makes some really great films. I love the lightings in his films. I
Yeah, that's the thing. Like his movies are interesting. Like I've watched what, three of his movies. Bliss, and I only just recently watched Bliss for the first time. Bliss, this one, The Christmas Bloody Christmas, and VFW. And like, um, this is this is actually what I said about Bliss too. Um, because it kind of pertains to all of it. I said Bigos is a director I want to like because he's got interesting ideas and the visuals are there, but there's always just something lacking. I said I've never been able to put my finger on it though. And that's the thing. Like all three of those movies, they're great visually.
Hmm.
They've got an interesting story, but there's always something for me, just for me. Obviously, he's popular with like lots of people and everything, but like, and none of his movies have been terrible. They just haven't fully worked for me yet, and one of these days maybe they will. Um, but yeah, no, I mean, I thought the lighting, especially the lighting in Christmas Bloody Christmas was so
Hmm.
good. Like I love
Yeah.
that neon color palette.
I
Like
know,
it was just
yeah,
so good.
it's something that's so infectious about it, and he
Yeah.
uses it a lot, and I don't know, I'm drawn to it, I guess. VFW, I just loved right out the gate because it made me think of Assault on Precinct 13, and that's like
Yeah.
one of my favorite things to watch. So,
Yeah. No, it's definitely there's like it's um like I said, I like I want to like him. I want to like his stuff. It's right there on the cusp of really liking his stuff, but it's like something's holding it back for me. So, but yeah, no, I did like Christmas Bloody Christmas, and I'm glad you did too. So, I can't wait to hear what you have to say about it. So. All right. Well, coming up next week, like I said, is my Christmas episode with the kids. We're going to be covering Gremlins and Gremlins 2. And then the following week on a day early, because it's always a day early on New Year's Eve, I will be dropping the episode with Donna and I going over our top 10 horror movies of the year. That's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to change it up this year. Just a little bit. We're still having our top 10, but instead of doing our three um, honorable mentions, I know I talked to you about this before,
mhm,
but I wanted to go over like three of our favorite new to us movies that came out in years previous, but we only just saw this year, that we just couldn't get out of our minds. So, uh, so I definitely had three of those this year that I want to talk about, and I hope you've already got yours
mhm,
figured out.
I do.
Um, good. And so that's what's happening for the rest of this year, and then starting next year, I can't remember if I've talked about it at all on the podcast, but I just if I have, just take this as a reminder. If I haven't, this is what's happening. Next year, instead of doing double features, I'm gonna focus more on just doing episodes on one movie each. We're going to start off the year. The first month in January is going to be a continuation of my MCU stuff. So we're going to do four movies, four more MCU movies, and then in February I'm doing a series on Black horror for Black History Month, and then back in March we'll be back to Marvel stuff again to get us caught up. To that point, we'll finally be caught up on all the MCU stuff, and then from that point on, I'm really not going to do. Um, I'll do MCU movies when they drop, but I'm not going to continue doing like an every other week type of thing like I was doing this last year, where I do horror one week and
Mm,
uh, geeky stuff on the next week. Um, I want to kind of refocus it, mostly horror, but cult movies and stuff like that. The occasional, like I said, the occasional MCU stuff. But I was considering doing more Marvel non-MCU stuff, like the original Spider-Man and the original X-Men stuff and everything like that. But I wasn't super excited about that.
mhm,
So I just decided to focus on other stuff. So after that series in March, getting caught up with the MCU stuff, I'm going to be doing a month and a half long series on on Edgar Wright movies, because Edgar Wright is a director I enjoy. Then we're going to do a couple of other movies, and we'll get caught up. I've got plans up until the middle of the year. Um, and then but it's just individual movies. No double features anymore. Just because it's a combination of it's a lot. Um, I'd like to keep the episodes maybe a little bit less um like timed, because sometimes the episodes they would balloon up to like 2 hours and stuff.
Jeez.
So yeah, so especially with the add-on of you and I doing our every week thing. That helped increase the time on some of them, which was fine. I didn't have a problem doing that, but I just felt like um it was harder to make double features. And so I wanted to, and especially since I've done a lot of the big horror franchises
Right.
already. I just kind of wanted to like there were some horror movies that I was wanting to do that I couldn't figure out a really good um, um, double for, and I really wanted to still talk about those movies um, and not try to like shoehorn them into something that may or may not connect. So that was the reason for doing it, and I thought it'd just be more fun to just have one movie. It also takes the burden off the guest to have to watch two movies. Sometimes it's a lot easier just to watch one movie and just do a quick episode on. So it's definitely
I
I think
applaud
it'll
you because you're retooling it, and it sounds like it'll be a lot easier on you too. But
yeah.
my gosh, you've already planned all out so far, and I'm thinking I do this shit by the seat of my pants.
I
Like, I'm glad that you have that much thought out.
Well, so last year I had it fully plotted out. I had last year's fully plotted out, and then I decided to scrap most of that and go with the
Mhm.
what's your favorite double feature format. And that kind of messed me up a little bit. It was like I was able to find some people, and then other people just it ended up where it was harder to find guests. And then um I like having things somewhat planned out because um then I know what I'm doing and I know
Right,
I can get these guests and stuff. And it just makes it easier in a way to do that. But yeah, if I were doing it just on my own, it'd be a lot easier just to go see in my pants like you do. For sure. But because I do have to get guests and I have to kind of schedule people out and everything like that. And I've been horrible. Like this last year got really rougher for me because I got into I guess an ennui about it, where it was just like that's why I had so many breaks this last year. I actually took multiple breaks, and that's why we ended up only doing the mini-sodes and stuff like that. It was just because I was like, I need to figure something out to make this
mhm.
work better for me, for the guests, and
It sounds like you came
continue.
up with a good idea. That sounds really good to me.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. I'm hoping it'll be, I mean, it's going to still be the same show, it just won't have the double feature aspect of it. It's still going to be me talking to guests, and I'm going to try to have on a lot of guests. I'm trying to create a roster of guests. I've got
Mhm,
several people already involved. You're one of them, who are going to come back fairly regularly, every month or 2 months, depending on schedules and stuff. But so you're going to hear a lot of the same voices. Which is to me, which is great. I want to still get on new people because it's always fun getting somebody
mhm.
new, especially somebody who's never been on a podcast before. So because sometimes you need to. Sometimes people are just passionate about a movie and they really want to talk about it. So I
Yeah,
think
so if
that's
you guys are listening and you want to
yeah.
be on the podcast, tell Robert that you
Yeah.
wanna be on the podcast.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, no, for sure. But I definitely like for the most part, like there's people that I know I can depend on in terms of guesting
Mhm,
that have appeared regularly and will continue to appear regularly from now on, who will be like I said, just on more often because um they're just it kind of creates a rotating guest host in a way,
right.
um which
I like that idea. That's
yeah,
really nice.
yeah, so it should be a lot of fun. I do want to I've talked about this a little bit. I was going to be doing shows with Harrison, like a separate show with Harrison, a separate show with Katrina. Those kind of have fallen by the wayside, unfortunately. Harrison has work and home life to deal with because he's got a 3-year-old son. And Katrina's got, 2 jobs, and she's been going to school, and now she's going to be doing hockey on top of all that. And so she's got less time to do stuff. So it's a little bit harder to do. I might be doing a show with my wife, like not like a full on show, but occasional episodes with her where it'll be a
Even if you
whole new
did once a month
format.
with her, I would love
Yeah.
to hear that.
Yeah, no, we have a good idea for what we want to do. But yeah, definitely be something that'll be very irregular. And will just pop up as a bonus episode on the site once in a while. So but yeah, I mean, Donna and I have been talking about doing something separate for years, but we we
I'm
just
at your place all the time. That's
I
enough.
know, and that's the thing. Like, at this point, it's become it. This is now that. So in a way, so because at least we're getting to talk every week, and we're having a
Yeah.
lot of fun with that. And I think that was, because that was kind of where I wanted to do it at, and just have a lot of fun. Because you and I have so much fun talking to each other that I just wanted to make it a regular thing. And since we've made this a regular thing, this kind of works for that.
Yeah, that's perfect.
So yeah, so it's worked out with that. But yeah, no, so those some of those other shows are kind of, I still, there was a show on comic books that I wanted to do, like that was just going to be me. That's still kind of in the works, but I just haven't really been working on it lately. So there's ideas out there, but it just, when I can get them out, they'll be irregular one-off episodes here and there, when I can do them. But for the most part, Creeping Geeky is just Creeping Geeky, and we're gonna have a lot of fun with that. So hopefully y'all are still sticking around. Tell your friends, tell everybody that you like the show. Let me know what you guys like about the show, what you don't like about the show, what you guys want to hear. I'm open to ideas. Even though I've got things plotted out for the next 6 months, I'm still open to new ideas and stuff. So because I got the next 6 months after that completely open. So if you guys got ideas for something
I'm
you want to
glad
hear
you
about,
said that. That's a
yeah,
good idea too.
yeah,
We sometimes we need a little bit of help too, and that'll spark a light bulb and go, "Oh yeah, I could totally
yeah.
talk about this."
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because I mean, that's the thing. Like, there's definitely things I want to talk about that I would love to talk about. But if you want to hear me talk about something, let me know. Because I'll talk about even stuff I don't like. I'll let you know. I'm not going to be shy about it. Because you've heard on my episodes before that where I've covered things that I didn't really care for. But it's just I would love to hear what you guys like about the show, especially those of you who are regular listeners. And I would love for you guys to let people know that you enjoy the show. Try to get it out there a little bit more. Like I've always said, I don't want to ever be famous for this. I don't want a podcast where I've got like thousands and hundreds of thousands of listeners. But hundreds wouldn't be bad. Um, you know, 100 wouldn't be bad even. But it's I know I'm another podcast in a sea of podcasts.
Yeah,
So
me too.
like everybody's got, I know, and everybody's got it. I try to make my,
Everybody's got one,
yeah,
but the thing about it is though, you bring something unique and different to it. Everybody's podcast is different
yes,
and nobody
absolutely,
is like you. So I
yes,
am very excited to see what you bring in the new
yeah.
year. And I'm a fan anyway. I mean, before I am your friend, but I am a
Yes.
fan also. I can honestly say that.
Well, I appreciate it, and I'm a fan of your show. Even though I'm a little bit behind on it, I'm definitely a fan of your show, and I love listening to what you like. Even when it's movies, I've watched a whole bunch and everything like that. I love listening to your kind of breakdown on them, and your funny little interjections about like the movies themselves. It's
Well,
it's
I do
it's a lot
interject.
of fun. Oh, you
Oh my
do, yeah.
God. I can't help it. If you were in a room watching a movie with me, you would be like, Donna,
Yeah, oh my
Donna.
God.
I'm
You
like,
know what? This is an idea that I've thought of, and I want to put it out there, and I want to put it out on the show. I have thought about you and I possibly doing commentaries where you and I will watch a movie and we'll just comment about it the whole time. And it'd be like a special bonus thing.
Yeah, we need
But
to do that.
I thought that would be a lot of fun, just us riffing on some movies. Um, so yeah, so if anybody would be interested in that, let us know, and we'll try to make some time for that because that sounds like it'd be a lot of fun to me.
I
Something
think
I've
so
thought about
too.
for a while. Yeah. So, all right. Well, that's all I have. That's what you got to look forward in the future. So I appreciate you guys so far for another year coming aboard. We're getting towards the end here. I can't wait to talk to Donna about our top tens because it's always fun hearing what we have in common and what we don't. Especially because usually we have a good portion of it in common, but it's always at different ends of the top 10.
It
So
really is. And there was so much good stuff this year. Oh my
there was
gosh.
so much good stuff. It's definitely been a hard to choose year. So, but yeah, there's definitely been some stuff in the last few months that has snuck into the top 10 and I didn't think it would. So, but yeah, no, so it should be a lot of fun. Um, I I enjoy that episode every year. So it's a good fun time. So, all right, everybody, make sure you go check out Donna's podcast. Also, it's called Dawn of the Dead. If you don't if you haven't checked it out already, please go do that. And make sure to come back next week. I'll have the kids on for a full episode. So, but until then, stay creepy. Thanks for listening. If you like what you've heard, please consider giving the show 5 stars and a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And share the podcast on social media to help spread the word. Make sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast app or at creepyandgeeky.com. Music for the podcast is Gratitude, composed by Harper Smith. You can follow the podcast by going to creepyandgeeky.com and clicking on any of the social links. If you'd like to follow me, you can find my links at geekthulu.com. You can support the podcast by ordering teas and more on TeePublic or by donating to the coffee page. All of the links are in the show notes. Finally, don't forget, stay creepy.